Michael Killen, and yes, I believe the time has come that we stop talking so much about climate change. And I'm not saying we should step up our actions to really do something about it. I think it's time to stop using the term climate change so much. And I want to say a few things about myself, and then I'll explain why I think that. When I was a very young man, I was invited by the head of the Academy of Sciences of China to go there and review how the nation was teaching computer science. I did that when I was in my 20s. And I developed a think tank before I was 30, and I went on to publish over 35 years or so over 400 studies. Each one of them had the mission of identifying a different emerging development in technology management and the computer and the telecommunication industry and even the semiconductor industry. So I have a background of research and identifying market opportunities and trends. And then I also wrote 5 or 6 books, including the book IBM, The Making of the Common View. And I am now a TV talk show host. Show is The Killen Report, and over 50 television stations around the United States have licensed my show, and I'm at Standford. And at Standford, I am a talk show host on KZSU Standford Radio, and I am interviewing some of the best thinkers in the world on the status and direction of climate change as well as national energy issues. Now, why do I think it's time to stop talking so much about climate change? Why push something up a hill that is so difficult to get up there? Climate change is a phrase, a term that is very difficult for people to understand, appreciate, and get behind. You have to, as a lot of the viewers will agree, you have to have a science background. You have to be able to think critically. You have to have a lot of stuff up here to really appreciate what climate change, the threat of climate change. And you have to think not just about yourself, you have to think about the future and the people who are going to come after us. It's not everybody cares about what's going to happen in the future. Here's what I suggest. An opportunity has now been created by these severe weather conditions. Harvey, Irma, Sandy, Andrew, and we know the definition of climate. It is weather conditions over a certain period of time. The nation and maybe the world is now more focused on severe weather developments. And if we now move the discussion away from this abstract thing called climate change to severe weather conditions that devastate parts of the United States, ruin people's livelihood, their careers, their homes, etc., that is something people can relate to. So I am suggesting that we focus on severe weather conditions and make sure that people can easily relate to them and their impact and the need to do something about them. It's also important to cool it with the term climate change, because the Republican Party and the conservatives have taken a position many years ago that climate change is a ridiculous development, and I believe they mostly did that because Al Gore was running for president, and he really believed in the threat of climate change. And so for over a decade now, the Republicans have been, well, they tried to make sure he didn't get elected president, and they used the climate change issue to point out that he was a little wonky. And now we are stuck with millions of people in the United States who have bought into that message that was primarily promoted to keep Al from getting elected. All right, and now there are very smart people in the Conservative Party and in the Republican Party that really know that there's evidence now, and that evidence gives them the right, the opportunity to move forward. And by bringing up the topic of severe weather, that is something, it gives the Republicans an opportunity to now say, well, we have new data and we have new developments, and it's, let's forget about climate change. It's severe weather that is costing America probably trillions of dollars in the near future. So I hope I've been clear. I encourage everyone to tone it down with climate change and focus on severe weather conditions. Again, I'm Michael Killen, and thank you for tuning in.